Alright, so I'm in the hall. I was actually sitting in video production, and I had a couple thoughts run through my mind about how people, a lot of the times, they chase other people's approval. When you chase other people's approval, you're not chasing your own dreams. Most people are destined for things greater than they can even imagine, but they never go after because they get stuck with people that are poor-minded. Have a rich mind. That's what I learned in the investment class, is to have a rich mind. The poor mindset will get you in the gutter. The rich mindset will get you at the top. Episode 4 of 1 to 1 billion. Headed to school. 12 minutes late. Today we are meeting up with another guy who is really big into investing. He said that he likes what I do, and he would love to sit down and talk sometime. He day trades. He does not go to or attend a college, as far as I know. He may attend Mercer or something, but he's in my old stomping ground in Mercer County. Talk about money moves. We'll see that later.
Yeah, it's gonna go.
Start by the shoes and then pan up.
Taking pictures?
Wait till he goes by. Pan up. Everything will look good. Alright, so I'm in the hall. I was actually sitting in what class is this?
Video.
I was actually sitting in video production, and had a couple thoughts run through my mind about how people, a lot of the times, they chase other people's approval. When you chase other people's approval, you're not chasing your own dreams. Most people are destined for things greater than they can even imagine, but they never go after because they get stuck with people that are poor-minded. Have a rich mind. That's what I learned in the investment class, is to have a rich mind. The poor mindset will get you in the gutter. The rich mindset will get you at the top. Then really out. Okay. All right. Are you recording?
No, she's not recording.
Oh my god, you both have smart mouths?
My name is Mark Washington. I am the owner of the Young Billy brand. Now, the Young Billy brand is one of two things. It's inspirational and it's motivational. We like to talk to kids and tell them that what they're doing right now matters a lot in the future. People in the school know about it, but most people outside of the school don't know about it. So, my initiative right now is to take off in New Jersey. A lot of people in the school know about the brand, but nobody in New Jersey knows. So, what I'm doing now is I'm going to every mall in New Jersey, and I'm talking to every person that I can talk to for as long as I can talk to them. And I want to get to know them, and I want to tell them about myself, and I want to learn more about them. So, coming to a mall near you, Young Billy. Thank you. What's up, everybody? I'm on my way to the bank to take out a couple $20, and in order to pay for my cap and gown. And I was just sitting here listening to music, and it's amazing how music has messed up. It's amazing how music has revolutionized and evolved over time. We went from an era of the same thing playing over and over again, and the same beat playing over and over again, the same words getting said over and over again, to an era of where the rap game was about bars, and like everything was about bars and like lyrics you're spitting, to an era of the chorus was a big deal, and bars were starting to slowly disintegrate, and then we're back to an era of repeating things over and over, things like Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. The song is lit, but it repeats the same thing over and over again. And that's how music was back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, where it repeated itself over and over again. And it's just amazing how music has evolved. And if you talk to anybody that grew up with that music in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, where music was repeating, they look at our music now and they say, what is this garbage? Like, why is he rapping about this? Like, he's just saying the same thing over and over again. That's garbage. And you can look back and say the same thing about their music. What is this garbage? Like, they're saying the same thing over and over again. Like, that's trash. It's very fascinating that that's how music has evolved. But just my thoughts. Alright, so I'm sitting here with my mom and
planting flowers. My favorite thing.
Flowers.
Planting flowers, my favorite thing.
Alright, so a lot of people want to know why I'm wired this way. And my mom has a story to tell.
Most, I guess that's vivid in my mind is when you were in 3rd grade and you were getting ready to, well, you were going into 3rd grade and the doctors said that you couldn't eat enough food by mouth and they had to find a way to get nutrition into you so that you wouldn't starve to death. So the doctors said that they had to use an NG tube, and that's a tube through your nose, little yellow tube. So I said, okay, let's try it. So the NG tube had to be worn every day, and if it came out, we had to put it back in. And at night, we would pump food. The scary part was when it would come out, because when it would come out, that meant that we had to put it back in. And then we had to push it all the way through, down your throat, and you hated it. It didn't feel good, it hurt the back of your throat, and you hated it. So I got your sisters and your dad, your 3 sisters and your dad one day. I said, come on guys, you gotta help me get this tube back in his nose or he's not gonna be able to eat tonight. You were starving, you were frail, skinny, and all I could imagine was that you were gonna starve to death. So they held you and we talked to you, we coached you, we begged you, you cried, we cried. Mark, please come on, put the NG tube back in. You gotta feed, you gotta eat, you gotta eat. And you were, no matter what, you were determined you were not gonna put that NG tube back in anymore. That you said, that's it, I don't want it anymore. And it was like 5 of us, all 5 of us were holding you down. And your dad was talking to you, I was talking to you, and you, that night, you told me, that's it, Mom, I'm not putting it back in. And I cried, and you cried, we all cried, and you didn't put it back in. And I called the doctor, and I said, look, he doesn't want it anymore, what else can you do? And then that's when they told us that there was something else. But we would have never known about the other method, which is the NG tube in your stomach, which you have now, if you hadn't put your foot down and said, no, that's it, you're not putting that thing back in my nose. I know you were tired of walking around school, you felt like a freak, but people would look at you, you felt like they were looking at you and pointing and talking about you.
It's like candy.